Hello students, I hope you all are fine at your home. Now, today we are going to discuss a new chapter of biology, that is chapter number 8, how do organisms reproduce. Now, in this chapter, first of all we will discuss some introduction, then the definition of reproduction, then next topic is types of reproduction, that is asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Then we will discuss the difference between asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Then after this, types of asexual reproduction, that is fission. Fission is also categorized into two categories, that is binary fission and multiple fission. Then we will discuss budding, then regeneration, then spore formation. Then after this we will discuss vegetative propagation. Then types of vegetative propagation, that is artificial and natural methods of vegetative propagation. Then there are some different types of artificial propagation, that is cutting, layering, grafting and tissue culture. Then after this we will discuss the sexual reproduction in flower. Yes, correct. Sexual reproduction is also occur in the flowers. Now, after this, the last part of this chapter is sexual reproduction in human beings. In this, we will discuss female reproductive system and male reproductive system. And that's how the flow goes on. First of all, we will start this chapter with the brief introduction. That is, as we all know, all the living organisms in this world grow up to a certain period of time. Then what happens? They will die. Yes. They will grow up to a certain period of time, then they will die. तो बेसिकली होता क्या है बेटा, एक प्रोसेस होती है जिसके थ्रू जो ऑर्गेनिजम्स हैं वो अपने ही जैसे ऑर्गेनिजम्स को क्या कर सकते हैं, रिक्रिएट कर सकते हैं. दे विल गिव राइज टू द न्यू ऑर्गेनिज्म फ्रॉम द प्री एग्जिस्टिंग वंस. तो बेसिकली दिस इज द बेसिक कंसेप्ट ऑफ द रिप्रोडक्शन, दैट इज द क्रिएशन ऑफ द न्यू organism from the pre-existing organism of the same species is known as reproduction. Now let me discuss the definition of reproduction, that is the production of the new organisms from the existing organism of the same species. Means human beings will reproduce the babies, the dog will reproduce the puppies, the plant will reproduce the plant. That's how we have to say same species. Clear? Now the second definition is reproduction is the creation of new living things. Students, please underline these things. New living things from the existing living things. Yes, existing means previous organism, the organism which are living on this earth currently. They will reproduce the new organisms with the help of which process, that is reproduction. Now reproduction is essential. Essential means necessary, jaruri hai, for the survival of the species on this earth. Means if this process is not there, then what will happen? All the organisms will grow and they will die, and the existence of the species is finished. So basically reproduction is essential for the survival of the species on this earth. Now next, the process of reproduction ensures the continuity of life on this earth. What does it mean, continuity of life? It means if reproduction occurs continuously, then the human being will survive on this earth for a longer period of time. Now the last point, reproduction by human beings ensures that the human species will continue to exist on this earth for all the time to come. Means reproduction, ये रिप्रोडक्शन इस बात की क्या करता है, एक गारंटी देता है क्या, कि जितना भी टाइम आने वाला है उस सभी टाइम में ह्यूमन बींग्स आपको मिलेंगे अगर रिप्रोडक्शन होता रहा. इफ इट डज नॉट हैपन मीन्स अगर रिप्रोडक्शन नहीं हुआ तो ह्यूमन बींग की जो क्या है एक स्पीशीज है, बेसिकली वो सब क्या हो जाएंगे, फिनिश हो जाएंगे. तो रिप्रोडक्शन इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. आई होप ये चीज आपको समझ में आई होगी बेटा. नाउ वी विल डिस्कस द टाइप्स ऑफ रिप्रोडक्शन. व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ रिप्रोडक्शन? दैट इज asexual and sexual reproduction. Now students, there are mainly two types of reproduction. First one is asexual reproduction and the second one is sexual reproduction. If we simply understand what is the difference between asexual and sexual, the main difference is that in asexual reproduction no sex cell will involve. Now the question arises, what are sex cells? What are sex cells? So basically sex cells are the special cells which are responsible for the formation of zygote in sexual reproduction. Basically sex cells are of two types. First one is male sex cells and the second one is female sex cell. Sex cells are also known as gametes, and these are further categorized into two parts, that is male gamete and female gamete. And sex cells are also known as germ cells. They are further divided into two parts, that is first is male germ cell and the second one is female germ cell. बिल्कुल सिंपल है. सेक्स सेल्स, मेल सेक्स सेल, फीमेल सेक्स सेल. देन गैमेट्स, अगेन मेल गैमेट एंड फीमेल गैमेट. एंड द थर्ड वन इज जर्म सेल, मेल germ cell and female germ cell. So basically in sexual reproduction these male sex cell or female sex cell will combine to form zygote. But in asexual reproduction there are no such types of sex cells are present. They are reproduce the new organism without the involvement of these sex cells or gametes or germ cells. I hope it is clear. Now we will discuss about sexual reproduction. What is sexual reproduction? So basically the reproduction which involve the male sex cell and female sex cell for producing new organism is known as sexual reproduction. Now basically what happens, from male side male gamete involve and from female side female gamete will involve. Now what is the name of male gamete and female gamete in both the organism? This is known as sperm, and here we called it ovum or egg. They will fuse together and form zygote This process of the fusion of sperm and ovum or male gamete and female gamete is known as fertilization. This process is known as fertilization. Now, this zygote develops and formed as embryo. Then this embryo further develop and form fetus. And in last, the baby will produced. Then what is the difference between zygote and embryo? That is, zygote is unicellular. And embryo is multicellular. Zygote is unicellular and embryo is multicellular. This is the basic difference between zygote and the embryo. Then in fetus, organs will develop. Now, the question arises, is there a basic difference in asexual and sexual reproduction on the basis of parents? Yes. In asexual reproduction, only one parent is involved. But in sexual reproduction, two parents will involved. Basically, in asexual reproduction, only one parent is required, and in sexual reproduction, two parents will be required. So, this is the basic difference between sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. I hope it is clear. Now, we will discuss the different types of asexual reproduction. What are the different types of asexual reproduction? Now, students, let's discuss types of asexual reproduction. What are the different types of asexual reproduction? Now, first type is fission. Which also further categorized into two categories. First one is binary fission. And the second type is multiple fission. I will give you only the brief idea in this video about different types of reproduction. We will discuss in detail in the next video. Basically, binary fission we will study in amoeba. Multiple fission we will study in Plasmodium. Now, the second type of asexual reproduction is budding. And we will discuss the budding in two organisms, that is budding in Hydra and yeast. Now, the third type of asexual reproduction is regeneration. in planaria. In planaria. Basically, it is very, very important. Also mark it. Because regeneration come in board exams several times. Now the next type is fragmentation. Fragmentation in Spirogyra. Spirogyra. Now, next is spore formation. Spore formation. Spore formation in Rhizopus. In Rhizopus. And the last type of asexual reproduction we will discuss, that is vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation, which is further categorized into two categories, that is natural and artificial. Which also have four different types. That is, first one is cutting, like we will do in our home also. Rose plant we will grow with the help of cutting. The second is grafting. Third one is layering. And the last one is tissue culture. Last one is tissue culture, which is very important. Tissue culture is very important. Now, these are the different types of asexual reproduction, which we will discuss in the next video. Basically, we will discuss fission and its type, budding in hydra and yeast, and regeneration in planaria in next part of this chapter. And these three we will discuss in the third part of this chapter. Till then, revise these topics and strengthen your concepts by watching the video 2 or 3 times. Clear? Thank you.